Hi, I'm Kelly from Feeling Yum. I'm an occupational therapist and a feeding specialist here to show you a recipe that you can share with your baby. I am with Alana here, my daughter, who's 6 months. So she just started solids. She's started a little early, about 4.5 months. So she's been eating solids for a little bit. But I'm gonna show you a quinoa porridge with a blueberry compote. So you can see how easy and simple it is to make a delicious recipe without having to buy a rice cereal at the store or anything like that. And it's also yummy and delicious enough so you can enjoy it too, or you and your family. So first I'm gonna go over the quinoa porridge. And I pre-made this quinoa in my rice cooker just to cut time. So I'll give those directions of how you do that. But also, if you're gonna make it on stovetop, it's pretty simple. You boil 1 3/4 cup of water with 1 cup of quinoa, and then you cover the lid, let it simmer, and then you take it off the heat and fluff it with a fork and let it sit for about 10 minutes. But this is the pre-cooked. I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna start with the cinnamon. So we're gonna toast that so it's nice and fragrant. I'm just using about 1/8 of a teaspoon here. And I'm just I had a little oil in the pan, but you're gonna add a little oil. You can use coconut oil, or this is just an extra virgin olive oil. And mine's just from the farmer's market. They fill it up in these containers, but I'll show a link of where I get that as well. And then you're gonna let that toast a little bit with the cinnamon. And then you're gonna add the quinoa to the oil and cinnamon. And you're gonna stir that. Put the heat up a little bit, so that the cinnamon and oil coats the quinoa. I'm just gonna stir this with a wooden spoon. Sorry to get a little hot. You'll hear it sizzling a little bit, and it will just mean it gets nice and toasty, and that brings out some yummy flavors. And then I'm just gonna add a little milk to it too to make it a little creamier so it's more porridge-like. I'm gonna add some here. And I'm gonna stir that. And just let it warm up. And I don't want it too runny because we're gonna add other ingredients to the compote, so I'm just gonna show what it looks like. And just to give it a little creaminess. And I used an almond milk here. Alana's already been introduced to some nuts. So but you could also use breast milk, or you could use formula, or other kinds of milk, or cow's milk if your baby's been introduced to that. And then I'm just gonna put that in the bowl since that's done. And Alana here she has a teether toy with her right now to help keep her entertained while you're trying to cook the meal. Just getting a little antsy. Okay, I just cleaned this pan because it's the only one I have, but if you have two, you can use your other pan for the other part of this recipe, which will be a blueberry compote. And I am using frozen blueberries. They're frozen wild organic blueberries that this will just help cut the time because they are already kind of wet and from the freezing process. But if you're using fresh blueberries, you would add a little bit of water. And it cuts the time because the little wild blueberries, they cook really fast. Just heat that up. Lana here lost her toy. Okay, so you're gonna heat that up a bit, and then I'm gonna add some lemon. So I'm gonna zest it with this microplane just on top. And this lemon was already washed. So like I said, there's some water in there from the freezing, but we're gonna add a little lemon juice and that will help with the flavoring and give it a little more liquid. But if it's really getting dry from the cooking, you can always add a little water. And we're not gonna add any sweetener to this since we're serving it to the baby, but you can always do that if you're serving it to yourself or someone a little older. I'm gonna hold my hand here so the seeds don't fall in. Like that. Okay, give it another stir. And don't be afraid to make foods really yummy using spices. So I'm gonna add some cardamom to this. You can, that's why we added cinnamon too. It helps to give the flavoring, really good flavoring to the food, especially because you can't add much salt or sweeteners to the food. So the spices help give it a good flavor. So again, about 1/8 of a teaspoon with that one. Here, Alana. I'm gonna mix that while it's heating through. It's already getting nice and juicy. And then you can add a little bit of mineral salt. I'm gonna add a little pink Himalayan salt because it has some minerals that are good for the baby, but like I said, we wanna keep low sodium content, so just a little pinch there. And you can kind of test it. Yeah, it's still a little cool, so we're gonna let that heat. Okay, so from frozen, this took about, I would say it takes about 5 minutes for it to thoroughly thaw, and you can kind of see now it's nice and juicy without adding any water or anything, and it's nice and warm now. Okay, so now that it's all cooked through, I have a hand blender here, so I'm gonna show you just how to blend it a bit so it makes it a little more softer consistency. You can also put it in the blender. If your baby's about a little older, especially if 7, 8 months they've been eating, you don't even have to blend it because they're pretty cooked down. You can just like smash it a little bit, but I'll show you. So then it looks like that, a nice consistency. Put this here. And then I'm gonna add this to the bowl since it's done. All right, now that we have the quinoa porridge finished and the blueberry compote, I'm gonna add some coconut yogurt in the middle. So we'll add 3 layers and then we'll mix them all together. So this makes it a lot creamier, and Alana's really liking the yogurt right now. It's unsweetened. And I use coconut because I personally don't eat dairy, but full-fat Greek yogurt is also great, and I've also introduced that to her. This is just what we have on hand. So I'm gonna take the lid off so we can add everything. Still have some blueberry on me. I think, well, she does have her little teether toy in here. She can have that. She's trying to be patient waiting. Okay, so I'm gonna add some quinoa. I have a little bowl here to add everything for her. So a little quinoa on the bottom. This is so she has a whole grain, and quinoa is a full protein. So that has a nice protein to it. Then this will have our healthy fats using the yogurt and give a nice creamy richness to it. And then we're gonna add some of the blueberry on top. Because there's no sweetener in here because she's so little, the blueberry will give a natural sweetness to it. So she can think it's really nice and yummy. I'm gonna mix it all together. And then it's ready to serve. Okay, before I serve her, I'm gonna show you the Highchair that we use since we're on a high level table and we want our eye level with us. We have a Highchair that you can strap to the table, and you can also bring this to other people's houses or a restaurant because they're portable. and they have these attachable trays. But it's also very important if you have one of these floating high chairs, you have something to support her feet underneath. So we put a stool underneath, and that keeps her safe to prevent choking. Her body's a little more stable and she's not dangling or slumping down in the chair. And then also to prepare her, I'm gonna get her the bib. I love these silicone bibs because they are really easy to clean and they have a nice lip so they catch the food. Put on Ilana. This, you have a little snap. Okay, so she's ready. And then I also love these little short-handled spoons, and they're fat. This is made from Easy Peasy. So she's excited. She knows she's gonna eat. And they're great because she can also hold it and bring it to mouth since it has a short handle. Okay, so it's mixed. I'm gonna see how she likes it. It's not too warm, I was just checking. There you go, Ilana. And your baby might not eat a lot yet, or they might make faces like they don't like it at first because all these flavors are new, but just keep trying. It will take them many tries to get used to eating these foods. But she really likes the yogurt, so I think she likes the combo with the grain and the fruit in there too. And when she wiggles her feet like that, usually she means she's excited and likes it. Go. And it's okay if they get messy because they also explore the food that way. So you don't want to keep wiping them down. You just wipe them down at the end because then they get the smells and the textures on them and they learn to eat like that. Also, when you wipe them all the time, it can be a little negative for them because they don't like being wiped down, and you don't want negative associations with feeding time. You want it to be fun and positive. Right, Ilana? With a big smile. You like it. And she can practice bringing her the spoon to mouth too. And see, she just gagged a little bit because she put it in her mouth, but she can't put it in too far since it's that short handle. So I just cleaned a little bit because it was high up on her face. But we are having our meal time here, and she's excited. She's moving her feet. And she's opening her mouth, so I wait till she opens to offer the food. She can also sometimes grab the spoon and bring some to it that way. You can even dip both sides of the puree if some babies resist being spoon-fed and they like to feed themselves, and that's okay too. So you just kind of want to follow their lead. And I like that these have the short handle, so she can't push it too far back in her mouth, and also it has a wide grip so that she can hold it well. I'm grabbing your bib. One more, Ilana. And a lot of people ask me too, how much can the baby eat? And it really depends, I mean, on the baby. So they will show you cues when they keep opening their mouth. That means that they want more, and you can follow their lead. Right now, they are in that food exploration stage, so they're still getting all their main nutrients from the formula or breast milk. So they're more just using these opportunities to eat food. They're just learning how to eat right now and learning some new oral motor skills and about tastes and flavors.